Hey everybody, it's Tony is right here with the video like hella late. Anyway, school is coming back in like a few, I'm trying to adjust this, in a few weeks, literally like 2 weeks. So all good things must come to an end. I'm actually kind of excited to go back to school. I think I just wanna like be back in that flow again a little bit. I haven't written anything I thought I was gonna write stuff and be like, yeah, like wildly, like just prolific over the summer. It's like, girl, no. Like I rested a lot, did a little bit of work. I learned how to sew, did a fashion competition. Like I did like stuff like that, and then like now I'm just like, okay. It's time to go back to school. Anyway, so this video is just basically about my love of manga. So recently in the last like month, like sometime in July, I like started buying manga. And so I'm a younger millennial, so manga and Japanese culture by extension is like very ingrained in my like teen experience. Especially like as an American, I feel like we were very exposed to that across the country. Not everywhere, but like you would be very surprised as to like where people who are fans of like anime and manga like come from. But I always had a love of it. I have a few like books upstairs. I never was into the like series that everybody else was into. So like Naruto, what is it? Not One Punch. Oh my god, One Piece or stuff like that. Like I know about Death Note. I know about like Tokyo Ghoul. I know about those things, but like I was always into like the like not cutesy ones, but like the cutesy ones, I guess. So I was a big fan of like Ultra Maniac. There was this one called Fairy's Landing. I used to watch Chobits. So Chobits, like Fairy's Landing, Ultra Maniac, Car Captors was like a big thing for me growing up. And I couldn't remember what it was, but it was like a trip when I was a teen to Virginia, where my like dad's side is from. And I went to this like Dollar General and I saw this disc and I was like I just it stowed that memory away. It was always like in my mind, like I always knew that I liked it, but I just kind of pushed it back. I was into other stuff, right? Like at that point, and I saw this DVD and I was like, this is something I used to watch. I used to remember watching this, and I remember being the only one when I was like in my little daycare thing, like watching it. Everybody else was watching the Power Rangers and stuff. Like Power Rangers was like whatever, and but like this came on and I would be like the only one watching it. And then my subsequent love of things like Winx Club, which which is the show with like the five girls or whatever, and then like offshoots of like shows that are kind of like that, and then like shows like Totally Spies and shit like that. So like my tastes were like less serious, I guess. I did like, what is it called? Gatekeepers 21. I tried to get into Gatekeepers, like the generation or two before Gatekeepers 21. It wasn't as interesting as Gatekeepers 21, I'm not gonna lie. But that like led me into like the more, I guess, the darker aspects of like humanity and stuff like that. I guess Gatekeepers 21 was kind of supposed to be like 15 and up or something like that. And then there was a website that used to be, I think it's called Funimation now. It wasn't that when I was growing up, but it was like Le Petit Cosette was on there. That was kind of creepy. Essentially that one is about like this painter who ends up like doing in this girl, and then she's trapped in this glass or whatever, and then like this guy in the 21st century or the late 20th century, like the 1900s, right, 1990s, but I think it's the 2000s, that goes to the shop and like sees her and then like becomes infatuated with her, and then it's like she's requiring her sacrifice. Somebody figures out, or she figures out that he's like a reincarnation of like that old lover that like did her in, and basically it's like kind of low-key she wants revenge for that. So those are the darker psychological things. And adulthood, Attack on Titan, the theme song, yeah. And then watching it, and I just like forgot like that it was just like travesty. The first the first episode was like, I forgot, and then I just stopped watching it. I was like, I don't know if I can watch this. I feel like I'm too scared. Parasite, I was into that, like the TV show, and then I saw that they had like the series, like the the book series, so I like might consider that. But anyway, long video. I kind of just have gone back to doing that because I haven't been reading, and I just needed to read a little bit more and get better at reading. And I don't want to like be stuck to reading poetry, right? Like reading things in general like help you, because I may at some point want to do more like plot based kind of things, right? Like storytelling, like fiction, playwright, screenwrite, like stuff like that. Like I may want to expand into that. Like this degree to me isn't like terminal in that that's where I stop at like poetry. Like because I have like this degree, I may want to expand into other things, right? Anyway, so I decided to get some books, and my lights went out at one point for like 3 days almost, and I read by candlelight until like 3 o'clock in the morning. So I'm gonna just show you some of the stuff that I was reading. I finished 2 of these, started the 3rd, and then did the 4th. So the first one is Revenge. This is Wrong. So I really like this. It's basically about 2 sisters, and the one sister is kind of frumpy and the other one's really glamorous, and the frumpy sister is always put up to meet with the glamorous sisters like boyfriends and shit, and eventually there's an engagement. She's engaged to this like hot ass guy who ends up being cool, and the sister, so it's like Tsukiko is the one who is the timid frumpy one, and then Mitsuki is the one who's like but yeah, so Mitsuki tells Tsukiko to go out with her like fiance or whatever, and then like they end up hitting it off, and then some things end up happening where Tsukiko basically is like, I want him for myself, and then decides to go forward with that plan. And then Mitsuki has like a whole bunch of stuff happen to her, like because her sister is planning, like acting on revenge. So this one is like older teen, 17 plus. I feel like they didn't have this designation when I was reading as a teenager. It was just, yeah, I don't know, did they have this designation? And there's a lot of different publishing houses outside of the ones. The last one I'll show you is kind of the book style that I remember. Anyway, so yeah, it's that, the book, yeah. So I enjoyed this one thoroughly. I was like, oh shit, like I used to love like romance books and period dramas and stuff like that, so like this is kind of up my alley. Yo, she looks like she has like lip fillers. No offense, but like, doesn't it look like a little Anyway, if you are interested in this, I found it at Barnes & Noble. Now, I don't know if there's a second one that I can find. I'm going to try and find Amazon, look at Amazon to see, because I only see book one. And I'm like, I know it takes some time for it to get from over there over here, but I'm like, bro, like, is there a second one out? Can I buy the second one? You know what I'm saying? Next up is Anti-Romance. Yeah. So let's just, like, Story and Art by Sayo Momota. So if you're interested. This one is by Story and Art by Shoko Hidaka. And this is older teen, 15 plus. So essentially it's 2 friends, Suo, I don't know how to pronounce this one, and Ryo. So they're friends, they live together, and then it's like a gradual tension building between them, and one has kind of like deeper feelings for the other, and then there's just like the tensions between the two and all of that. And there's like other characters who also have tensions. So this is kind of more like a gay manga. I feel like there's a specific name for ones like this, but that's what it is. I enjoyed this one too. There is, I think I can just find this pretty readily as opposed to this revenge one. This one is pretty thick. Like, I don't know. It feels like pretty thick in comparison, but it has like a really good plot point. I feel like they do drag it out a little, just a little bit. Like the tension. You just kind of like wish they just get to the part where they express themselves a little bit, but they do express themselves in book one. So it's not like you have to wait like 3-4 books, but like within this, I feel like they could have gotten to the point just a little bit better, like a little bit faster. So yeah, so I've been reading this one. I like this one. Then I started reading Devil's Line by Rio Hanada. I feel like I don't know how to pronounce that. So this is 13 plus, which I feel like this should be like 15 plus, but okay. Because it's not like necessarily nudity or anything like that. But basically this is about vampires and shit. And so the girl's named Sukaka, and she's rescued by, she's rescued by Anzai. He's half this thing. So he calls them devils. They're like vampires. And it starts out where like she has a friend, and then he ends up showing himself to be like this monster, this vampire. And then Anzai comes out of nowhere, and then like, you devil, you. And he works kind of like, it's like he works with the police and stuff like that to track people down and shit that are like these things. But he's half, and he has to like fight through his bloodlust for her, and then like still like solve crime. It's like, it's kind of interesting, kind of confusing to me. I was kind of like confused a little bit, I'm not gonna lie. And it's not like it's a host of things, it's just, for me, I don't know, maybe I was just like more engaged with this, and then by the time I got to round to this, it was like day 3 of my lights being out. I was just like, I just want my lights to come back on. Like, I just want the electricity that comes to me to turn this shit back on so I can live my life, please. So I was kind of like tired of like and I don't know if it kept my attention as much as these two. Maybe I'm just like a gossipy asshole. Like, maybe. But I am gonna try and finish this before school starts. So yeah, like some of it, like that's what he turns into. But he like has feelings for her and shit, and he's trying to like fight them because like obviously she's like just full human and he's half, but like he really struggles with that half of him that wants and craves like blood and is bloodthirsty, and he tries not to hurt her, but then he has like jealous feelings for people who like her. So it's like he's fighting through that, and then like his like actual job in society. The last one is like a classic, and this is like the company that I read when I was a kid, because that's where all the ones like Host Club and shit like that came through. Yeah, like most of them. So it's Nana. So this is okay. So there's a manga and there's an anime, and I want to watch the anime and I want to read the manga because I hear that they deviate like quite a bit. So you know, there's that. They deviate quite a bit. So basically, it's 2 women. They have the same name essentially, and that was a news thing that came over or something. And so they shared the same name. I think they lived together at some point, and then like it just kind of follows their relationship. It's a pretty long. It's like, I think it's like at least like 15 of these. I don't know if I'm gonna buy them all, but I did buy this one. Sojo Beat is the one I grew up reading. Like a lot of the ones that I read were from this specific like house. This is Yazawa. But yeah, so pretty classic, but I like had never engaged with it, so I just kind of like wanted to see what it was about. And then also I think my interest came back to the anime manga because I watched Perfect Blue, and then I watched Paprika, and I forget what his name is, but he like passed away of like cancer, I think, like 10 years ago, something like that. I don't know, but I've mentioned them before, I think, on here or somewhere else. I have several channels, so yeah, he was very forward thinking and gave some really interesting like things. And yeah, so I'm back on my manga shiz, and I'm really happy about that. I really like this one. I feel like if you like gossipy chick lit but like with drama, you'll probably like this one. If you're into like romance but like there's a little bit more dramatic and then there's just like the push-pull longing, you'll like them. So these both kind of are like drama. And then if you like more gore, violence, yet like tortured mind, it's like I'm a monster but I love you, then like you'll probably like this one. If you like something where you're exploring, I guess, the psychology of a relationship and then like pulling apart, just like I feel like it's not coming of age exactly, I feel like, based on what I've been reading here, but it is kind of like that, so to speak. Coming into your own as a person, and whether or not the relationships you built up to that point like serve you, because I kind of get the feeling that this is going to be a sadder ending, because I've read on Wikipedia, I think, what happens, but it's like it's not necessarily the neat ending, I think, for everybody that I like expect when it comes to like more happier romantic things. So yeah, it's a little bit grittier. Anyway, those are my things. I didn't expect this to be as long, but I talk a lot, and that's what I'm into right now. So I'm going to start the second year of writing school of my MFA program, reading that, and then I don't know. Like, I don't know where I'm going to go from there. Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.